Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Hi, Preet. Good morning.
Hi, Preet. Good morning.
Good
Yeah,
morning,
so
Preet.
I would request everyone who can keep their camera on for a while and just blur their background. So like it is going to be like we are learning networking, right? So and this is not even lecture, so we can at least do that thing. If it's feasible. Is my screen visible to all?
Yes, Preet.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'll just wait 2 more minutes for everyone to join and then we can start. Cool. So we'll start now. Okay. So good morning, everyone. I'm Preet. I'm currently in the last semester at Northeastern. And most of the students who are attending this session are also from Northeastern, right? And the session is going to be like too long. So I'll try to cover the things in 2 hours as I'd committed, but still, like if you guys can stretch a little bit after the session, it will be great. So here is the thing. So after every 15 minutes, I'll ask you guys if I was audible throughout the session, if you have any query and all. If your query, so I would suggest you to ask the query at the end. Just yeah, so I would suggest you to ask the query at the end because I'm going to cover everything, right? From resume building, networking, on campus, bonus, everything, right? So hold your horses, keep your query at the end if possible. If it's something very urgent and you can't restrict yourself from asking, please go ahead and ask. That's fine. So I haven't kept any restriction on the mic. So at any time you feel you want to share something, please go ahead and unmute and you can share. Okay. And yeah, sure. So we'll start. Again, announcement. So if possible, please try to keep your video on, And let's keep this session more interactive, right? Like I don't want to keep on speaking for the whole 2 hours. Okay. Uh, most of you are looking for internships. Some of you are even working and looking for a switch. Some of you are looking for full time, right? So let's try to share our experiences, and the entire session is based on my knowledge. This is not a benchmark. Okay. Cool. So let's start. So here is the agenda. So first we'll be covering the job search funnel, like what are the stages of ideal stages to get a job, how to make the best resume, right? A resume which will never get what we say rejected. The third thing is what are the type of hirings, what are the types of opportunities. Then the fourth thing is job application best practices. After that, what are the LinkedIn profile best practices? And then comes the bonus and all the art of networking part. Cool. So let's start with the job search funnel. So there are generally 3 steps ideally for any kind of job search. It could be on campus, it could be internship, it could be full time, irrespective of the country you are staying in. First, you need to find the opportunity. Second is getting a call. That doesn't mean you got the job, but just getting a call that the hiring manager or the recruiter is interested in. And the third thing is converting the call. That means you got the job. Now, in this session, here is the scope. The first and the second point. The first is finding the opportunity, and second is getting the call, right? So let's first start with how to find the opportunity. So here are some myths, some points which people get confused with or generally consider these points as a benchmark and start applying for the job. So first thing is each resume goes through ATS screening. This is something which we are told by our alumni whenever we come to US, and this is how we assume that, okay, each resume will go through ATS and we will be kicked out if a resume doesn't clear the ATS. Second is my friend has the best resume template. He or she got 10 calls at a stretch using it. So I'm going to use that template. Third thing is I'll put as many skills as possible in the skills section so that my resume gets selected, right? So these are some myths. So I just want to clarify, don't listen to your roommate or don't listen to your friend. So they are just another human on this planet who are also looking and struggling to get a job or internship, just like you, right? So whatever they tell you, don't consider that as a benchmark, okay? They are not experts. So we only have to listen to expert. Even I'm not an expert, okay? And don't listen to bullshit. There are lots of stuff getting posted on LinkedIn that do this thing and you'll get a job and all those stuff. So stop trying doing those experiments in your resume. Okay. Always contact recruiters, talk to recruiters. I would take a pause over here and ask the people who are attending this session. Has anyone approached a recruiter and asked, like, what is the process of hiring?
Never.
I think most of you are some of you are even working already, and some of you are looking for internship. Even mistakenly, if you have pinged a recruiter and asked, I want to know what is the process. I'm not saying like, hey, I'm interested in this job. Can you please refer me to someone? No, not those kind of messages, but simply asking the process. Deep, Darshit, Siddharth, Avinash, Aditya?
No, I haven't
No, I've not asked.
reached out to anyone.
Right. So just imagine how much amount of money we are spending currently. Could be 80 lakhs to 1 crore rupees of our parents. And we're studying United States, a different country, and trying to get an opportunity, but we haven't ever approached a recruiter. We always listen to the bullshit of our friends, our alumni, and just consider that as a benchmark and keep on applying, right? So we have to stop that and change our approach, right? So let's start with how to make the best resume. So again, these points are based on my interaction with the recruiters. I pursued my internship with LinkedIn. I got chance to work over there for 8 months. And throughout these 8 months, every week I used to connect with recruiters and discuss with them, like how do they recruit, right? And most of the recruiters, if you see in LinkedIn, are hired from top-notch universities, right? So why are they investing so much in a recruiter? So this are some of my learnings that I came to know from them. So first is skeleton or the appearance. It has 60% of the weightage. I'm not talking about the content. I'm not talking about the bullets, just the skeleton. Skeleton means like how clearly, like if you zoom out of the resume, if you have Adobe Reader and just zoom out your PDF and just look at the skeleton, how it looks like. So that motivates a recruiter to read it further. If the skeleton is not good, if you are like have written a hell lot of words, like it's not even, doesn't even excite anyone to read, no one will read it, even if you have lots of achievements, right? So 60% weightage is given to the appearance. So this is a rule. If you have more than 2 years of work experience, start with education, then professional work experience, then skills, and then leadership. But if you're a fresher means less than 1 year or less than 1 year of work experience. I would just start with education, then show skills, then professional work experience, and then leadership. Okay. Header must have email, mobile, uh, LinkedIn, portfolio, and GitHub. I've seen most of the resumes don't have GitHub and portfolio. Making a portfolio just take 5 days, but people don't get time to make a portfolio. They do get time to watch Netflix. They do get time to watch movies, roam around Boston, but they don't get time to make portfolio, right? So portfolio is something which really, so imagine like, I'm sure you must have had this experience, like visiting someone's LinkedIn profile and you find that person very overwhelming. Like you just assume, you haven't even read the post, you haven't even seen the activity, you haven't even seen that person's alma mater. But just visiting in the first few seconds, you feel that that person is very overwhelming. Like that person might be knowing something more than you. So why does that happen? So it's because they show the things in that way, right? Even if you don't know anything, if you don't know coding, even if you don't have knowledge about your domain, but still dikhane mein kya jata hai, right? So why can't you make a portfolio and show that you have the skills? Only way when someone can judge you is by talking to you. But before even talking to you, you are being judged by what you have written and what you are showing. So at least why can't we show our skills or highlight things using a portfolio? So please do make portfolio. It definitely helps. Even if you apply to any job, you'll always find a section of adding links, add your website, add your portfolio. We generally ignore it, but over there you are supposed to attach your portfolio link, right? I'll also show my portfolio at the end and show you some templates which you just have to put it to your GitHub and replace the stuff by your photos and your details, and your portfolio will be ready. You don't have to pay anything. It will just take 5 days to make. Now, talking about bullets. So people generally add responsibilities, right? Responsibilities as in I attended Scrum meetings weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. I did this every day. I reported my manager to do this thing. Every day I used to do this and that. That's bullshit. So adding responsibilities doesn't motivate a recruiter to take you further, right? That's already something someone can. So just imagine 200 people are applying for a job and you are adding responsibilities. So that is not going to make sense. Add impact points. Let's say you worked for 3 years as a data engineer, you worked 3 years as a lawyer. So what impact, what changes did you make? So impact can be measured in 3 ways. First is how much revenue did you generate, right? So directly or indirectly, how are you helping the organization to grow the business? That is first point. Second is how much time are you saving? So let's say there is a process in the organization which took 5 hours before, but after you became a part of that project, it reduced to 30 minutes or 15 minutes. So reduce the time by 90% or 95%, 80%, right? So this could be a second kind of measurable impact. And third thing is, I would say like, what are your leadership skills? Like, were you promoted or were you handling 4 or 5 engineers in your team? Like you helped interns to grow and, you know, uh, led the orientation or induction program or something like that, right? So only add impact points, no responsibilities at all. If you have any responsibility points in your bullet, just remove it. And always follow STAR method or CAR method or RSC method, result, action, and the situation. So try to mention the results in qualitative and quantitative method. Put full stop after each bullet point. So why do we need a full stop after bullet point? Because whenever you apply for a job and your resume is getting fetched automatically, so the bullet doesn't get fetched. So the responsibilities look like a paragraph in that section and there is no full stop, right? So it's hard for the recruiter to read it or the hiring manager to read it. So that full stop will help them to bifurcate. Okay, so after this, there's a next point, right? So make sure your bullet points end with a full stop. Second is don't mention personal details. I do review a lot of resumes and they always have a grammar or spelling mistake. So guys, Grammarly could detect grammar up to a certain level. After that, you have to use your human brain to understand if that sentence makes sense, right? And don't add unnecessary or redundant information. So what I call unnecessary or redundant is like the words, even if you remove it, would make the same sense. So here is a checklist. I'll be sharing this slide with you. However, you are free to take a screenshot. First, check English grammar check. Run an English grammar check. And sometimes it's also possible that we are not able to detect mistakes in a resume, but if we ask 4 or 5 people, they will be able to, right? So do ask them to check if there is any grammar mistake. Second is read each and every word of your bullet and see if it's making any impact. Okay, each and every word, including the grammar prepositions. So just ask yourself, if I remove this word, will the sentence meaning still remain the same? Will it still be impactful as it was before? If yes, then remove that word. Okay, so that is how you can shorten the bullet points. Third thing is, while reading the bullet points, this is most important point. So just read the bullet point loud and check if how many pauses you are taking. Okay, if it's more than 2 pauses, like you are stopping yourself 2 times, like you have to again take a pause and again after that you have to start reading it, shorten that bullet point. Okay, so if you are facing issue in reading it, recruiter will also face the same issue. 95% of the bullets should be of one line, not more than one line. I used to see like people used to fit all their skills, copy the bullet points from Google, from their friend's resume, and try to fit in such a way that it covers all the skills, right? So don't do that. So just always ensure the 95% of the bullets are just one line, and each point should have a number, achievement, or impact. Even if it's a project, bullet points, your responsibilities, anything, it should have a number, achievement, and impact. Yeah, so I'll just take a pause here and check with you guys if you have any query, or if I was uh, audible throughout.
You were audible.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything which you felt,
Yeah, audible.
anything which you felt you were not aware or you were doing it from these
Preet,
points? Mhm.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I have a question.
Yeah.
So, when you were talking about having only the impact in
Hmm.
bullets, right? And we do use star technique as well, right?
Yeah.
Bifurcator bullet. So, I mean, I just want to understand that how do you differentiate result, situation, task, and action when we are trying to say that we are only using uh, we are only writing the impact here. Like if you could just give an example.
Sure. I have my resume in one of the slides, so
Okay.
I'll cover that point there.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, sure. Thank you for sharing that. Uh, Akash, Avinash, Fatima, is there anything which you were doing in a wrong way? So nothing is wrong. Actually, everything is subjective, right? Something you might felt this is the only way that I think is correct, and because you are getting the calls, you will keep on continuing that, right? So is there any contradicting point which you find here so far?
Yeah, okay, Preet. So, like as you said, like we shouldn't put all the technical skills in our resume, like whatever we find out in our like colleagues'
Hmm.
resume. And so, like, how can we stand out and we don't put like that much of technical skills?
Sure. I'll answer that. So before going into the resume best practice, so here is something that I have been doing since I came US. So if you imagine how many years you are going to spend here is minimum 5 years, considering you get a job. So and if you don't get H1B, you are going to stay for 5 years in US, right? And you don't know how is your manager going to be, or even if you join your first organization, are you going to stay throughout your life over there, right? So consider making resume and making network or storing the documents as a best practice. Like cultivate that habit, right? Just don't think for, okay, so this is the first, after this job I'll just delete all the folders and my all my past resumes and just have the latest copy. No. So this is a practice which everyone should follow. And there are some people on earth who don't know what they want to do, like me. Like they are doing performing masters in data analytics, but still they don't know what they want to become, right? So that could be, so first, on the first table you can see, make the list of the roles that you are interested in. This is just a sample. This is not a benchmark that okay, a data analyst can only go in 5 roles. There are also people from regulatory affairs and biotech over here, so you guys can also imagine whatever roles people in your domain generally target. So make a list of roles. After that, make another table which is a list of companies and the domain, like in which domains you guys generally work. If you don't know, just search on LinkedIn, you will find wherever Northeastern alumni have been working, right? So after that, try to make resumes specific for a company and their role. Okay, so for example, I'll just show you my drive. So this is what I do. For each and every company, I make a different folder. And if I go into one folder, there will be different subfolders of domains like data analytics, BI engineer, data engineer, right? Like that. And there will be different resumes. So I've made more than 100 resumes. So imagine like for each job application, you do some tweak in your resume. And after doing 200 applications, you got a call from a recruiter that, hey, we are interested. And you forgot which resume you had sent to that recruiter for that organization, right? So when you introduce yourself to them and you mention that I have done this and I've done that in the past, but you have mentioned you have not mentioned that resume. So that will be contradicting and you'll lose that opportunity, right? So it's better to have everything segregated and stored in this structured manner. So even if you're looking for internship right now, you will be looking for full time after some time, right? So this folders will help you. And even after you get into a full-time opportunity, you might find that this company is not sponsoring H1B. I want to switch my job to someone else. So again, this is like, I can't stress enough the importance of maintaining this best practice. Now, this is a Chrome extension called Jobalytics, which I had shared before as well. So some of you are even using it. If not, try to add this in your Chrome browser. So what it will do is you will have to upload your resume over here, and in LinkedIn, it will highlight whatever skills are already there in your resume and what are not. So you can take a moment and add those in your resume. Now, when I was talking about the points which Unnati and Jayesh told, so this is my older version of the resume on the right. So if you see this point, handled consulting services to 20 plus clients for business intelligence solutions and reporting, along with designing clinical dashboards through BI tools using Tableau and Looker, and achieved 10% increase in revenue. So this is how most of us write a bullet point. So we try to fit everything. So over here, like this is not a star method. However, I have mentioned what is the impact that I brought, what are the tools that I used, and what was the purpose. So I was providing BI solutions to them. But if you see like how many pauses I took in even reading it, right? So this is not the right bullet point. Okay, so just think which are the words that can be removed, and even after that, the sentence would still remain same. So for example, let's say now, if I say like, is this shirt good? So you might say, so your question should be, where are you going? If I ask you, are my clothes good? The question should be, so what event are you attending? Similarly, when you ask someone to review your resume, you should also mention which job post or which role are you applying it to, right? So let's say I have mentioned Tableau and Looker, but that company only requires Power BI. Okay, that organization doesn't have Tableau and Looker. So why do you want to mention Tableau and Looker? I was working as a senior BI developer at Sears, and it's a Google partner. So we sell Google products to organization. And I'm a Looker developer, but I hate Looker, right? So what I do is, but at that time I worked a lot on Tableau. So whosoever client I used to meet, I promote Tableau, but not Looker. And somehow my manager came to know. And I was asked to, like, if you keep continuing this practice, you might need to leave the job, right? So that is how each organization are like very attached or stringent to using a specific tool. Okay, so, and you don't know like which product they have partnered with. For example, when you're looking for a job, you might see words like Microsoft Azure. You should be knowing Microsoft Azure. So the moment you listen to Microsoft Azure, you should assume that that company will be using Power BI. They won't be using Tableau. They won't be using Looker, no other BI tool. Why? Cost is the problem, right? So the people who use Microsoft Azure get discount or get Power BI for free. So if you show them that Tableau you have learned Tableau. So you need to understand your audience first. Who is going to read this resume? It's a recruiter. What's the background of a recruiter? They have background like arts, sociology, philosophy. They are not they don't have technical background. So for them, these words are just words. They really don't know. Like if you know Tableau, it's very easy to learn some other BI tool. Similarly, it could be a software or it could be any technical skill which you know of, right? They don't know. So you have to show only those words which they want to listen to. People generally ask, how will I get a job? Okay, so the only answer to that is you have to show what they need. You don't have to show what you know, right? If you show or tell them like, this is what you need and this is what exactly I know or I've learned or I can help you with, you will get selected, right? So yeah, and talking about skills over here. So, okay, so over here, let's say in the BI tools, I've mentioned all the BI tools that I know of, but that company only wants 2 BI tools, not the other BI tools. Then why do we want to show other BI tools to them? Similarly, that company is not asking for HTML, right? Then why are you mentioning HTML in your skill section? So this is how you should try to. So I'll show you the resumes of Harvard and MIT people. So in their resumes, the skill is just of 1 line, right? So we try to bucket and try to generate our own words and put as many skills as possible, but doesn't work. And another thing which most of the LinkedIn recruiters told me, and this is very important, I want to take all of you to take note of this, is this is how a recruiter reads a resume. Most of the recruiters read a resume. So let's assume the skills is at the top. Okay. Education, skills, and professional experience. So this is how a recruiter will read. So they'll start with, okay, Python. Yes, they do need people who know Python. So the next thing they'll check is, where have you used Python? What have you done? And what is the impact that you have brought by using Python? Now, what will happen is you have mentioned Python over here, but nowhere you have mentioned Python. So they'll come to know that, okay, this is just fake thing. You're just trying to bypass the ATS, but you don't know really, right? So whatever skills that you mention here, try to highlight the same skills over here. So it's very easy. For example, for Tableau, I know, so Preet started using Tableau from 2019. He has also used it in 2021. He has also used it in 2022. So that means he has 3 years of work experience using Tableau, right? So this is how a recruiter reads. I'm not just making this up on my own. This is what I've talked to recruiters and they have told me. So for each and every skill, ensure you mention where you have used it. Okay. I'll take a pause and again get back to Unnati and Jayesh if I answered that question.
Yeah. Yeah, good to go.
I still, I mean, I understood. So basically, when you were trying to say that we should try to include as much as basically qualitative and quantitative measures, right? So I think that's
Right.
what makes it result oriented or impactful.
So if you see
And
the last point over here,
yeah.
yeah, so this has no impact.
Mm-hmm.
And words like identify, diagnose, and resolve. So even adding these 3 words is not required. So just resolve data issues would mean the same. You all obviously identify. If you're able to resolve it, you already have identified. So this is what
Right.
we generally do, selecting words and try to make it as long as possible, but we'll stop doing it.
Okay, right.
Okay. Now, the most important part. So once, okay, so after this, like, so I'm sure like whatever I've shared about resume still won't help you because this is just a general best practice. Now, even after attending this session, if you still go back to the resume, you'll still be confused and still like don't know like how to modify, right? So that might require some personal attention, maybe of me, or we might need to connect one-to-one and try to review your resume. That might help. Now talking about hiring. So what are the types of hiring? So one is inbound and outbound. There are two types of hiring. So in a simple way, if I want to give an example, it's like a girl approaches you and proposes you that she has feelings for you. You can consider it as an inbound, and outbound is like you are approaching a girl and telling that you have feelings for her, right? So it's called outbound. Similarly, like vice versa. So inbound is like a recruiter will approach you and tell you that, hey, your profile is really nice and we want to hire you. And outbound is we are approaching the company and recruiters and hiring managers. So I assume most of you have been doing outbound. I assume none of the recruiters have approached you directly, and they want to. So after certain number of years of experience, people do get call from recruiters directly. We mostly get calls from some consultancy services who are fake or just want to hire you because they need some commission out of the job. So I'm not talking about those recruiters. I'm talking about the legit recruiters, right? So, and yeah, during my internship, I had one inbound hiring. So a recruiter approached me, and after just one interview, they did offer me an internship for 8 months, and it was a legit company, right? So I'll also show you like how that can be done. So first we'll start with outbound opportunities. Uh, so first is the most common way people look for the opportunity, that is first they visit a company's profile, right? And you click on see all jobs. And after that, over here, you might have noticed the people who are from regulatory affairs, biotech, data analysts, data scientists, product developers. So you might be having this list different. So let's say if Unnati opens her LinkedIn and search for the same organization and click on see all jobs, and maybe Prashant opens the same company and see all jobs, the jobs will be different, right? You won't see the same job. So this is something which LinkedIn shows in a recommended way. And so you can save. So next process is to like you click on this button, which is the save button. So if you are following this approach, what I would suggest is, so there are two ways. Either you find a position, apply it, and then look for the another position. Or else what you can do is spend your 3 to 4 hours in just looking for opportunities and click on save button. And when you have a very fresh mind, somewhere in the morning, or you are very energetic to apply for these jobs, at that time, apply at a stretch to all the job positions, right? And the reason so I suggest this approach is because we don't generally click on this following button of the companies. So if you click this following button, you'll get such kind of notifications that you see on the right side bottom. So you'll see like someone with similar profile of yours is hiring in their organization. It's high priority. So moment you see this recommendation, so LinkedIn actually tries to understand how has been your approach in the past, and based on that, they give us such recommendations. We generally and tend to ignore this. So stop ignoring these notifications and try to apply as soon as you get these pop-ups. So this can lead to maximum conversion. But this is an approach which is followed by everyone. So nothing special in this. Second approach is we click on the jobs. Okay. Just go to LinkedIn, click on the jobs, and you'll see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 filters. Everyone will see the 6 filters. It doesn't matter if you have LinkedIn Premium, whatever LinkedIn version you're using will get the 6 filters only, right? The thing which we can do is, let's say I have a list of 50 companies or 100 companies or 500 companies in mind. So I'll just go ahead and add those companies over here. And in the job tab, I'll click on internship or full time, and I'll put this location, and it's very easy for me to look for the jobs. I just mentioned the data over here, right? So it shows recommended jobs, most importantly. Again, this is not something which everyone will see the same. It's a right. Now, the most powerful approach, which people generally don't know or don't follow, right? So it say that you are what you eat, you are what you read. So similarly, your jobs are what you network, right? So when people say that you should have more than 10,000 connections, some people say, but if you visit the profile of Harvard or MIT people, they generally have less than 500 connections. And we say that if they are not making connections, why should we? So the reason is like they already are at Harvard and MIT, and we are not. So we have to take support of connections. So this is the most powerful approach, and it's very easy to convert jobs using this method. So what you have to do is you have to search for looking for and then role in the post of LinkedIn, right? So the moment you do it, you will find the people who have used these words in their post. You have to click on post. Over here, there will be various options like jobs, post, and you also click on post, and you'll find the people who are looking for that role. Now, the issue with this approach is if you have limited connections, let's say 300 to 400, so you might not be able to see the post of the people or of the companies that you haven't followed or your connections haven't followed, right? So currently I'm looking for full-time opportunities, and I'm very like, if I approach to 10 people, from those 10, I'm easily able to get at least 2 or 3 people who reply to me, and at least I'm getting an interview, right? So this is something which really works, and you should definitely try it. So yes, so this is the game of keywords and network. Now, something which people who have LinkedIn Premium but are not aware about this feature, or people generally don't know what is LinkedIn Premium. Firstly, they think that LinkedIn Premium is something, if you subscribe it, you'll get a job. That's what people think the meaning of LinkedIn Premium. So there is no difference between LinkedIn and the normal LinkedIn and the LinkedIn Premium. The only thing is there are some of the features that you get advantage. First one is you get to know who are the people that visit your profile regularly or every day. So every day you get a notification, and you get to know who are seeing your profile. So if a recruiter has seen your profile, that means you are interested. Recruiters hardly see anybody's profile. So you can directly visit them and approach them that, hey, I'm just interested in whatever you can do. So another thing, this most important part is, so let's say if you are opening a page of a job, so at the bottom of that page, you will see something like this. So firstly, let's say, so this is of a job post where 128 people had applied. And over here, they'll show what are the common skills of their resume, which the organization is looking for, and which are the skills which I'm lacking in my LinkedIn profile, right? So this is the reason we don't get inbound opportunities. I'll show you how a recruiter looks for opportunities. What is the kind of LinkedIn user interface for a recruiter? Okay, so how do they look for jobs? I'll also have access to that. So you also see like how many like people at what designation are applying to the job. So if you see like 60 people or 62% have master degree, 27 have bachelor's degree, and all those stuff. So sometimes we apply to job positions where they're asking for bachelor's and yet you apply, right? And you get rejected. So that is the reason, because most of them would be bachelor's degree. If they have mentioned a bachelor's degree, don't apply, because they have limited budgets. They don't have budgets to pay for a master's student, right? So if you have LinkedIn Premium, you can easily save your time looking at this tip. And you can also see the location, like where are these people applying from. So let me tell you, sometimes we feel that the job posts which you find on LinkedIn are fake, or people have been already recruited, and yet you are able to see that positions. And sometimes you'll find like, okay, you applied this to this position few days back, and again it's showing that they have recently reposted this job post, right? So posting job on LinkedIn is not free. They charge $45 a week per job post. So if the company has posted a job on LinkedIn, that means they are paying for it. They are aware about it. Okay, so don't assume that like this is fake. Okay, and also you can see like how is this company hiring people. You can see the trend. If you see the trend is going down, that means they are laying off people. So you may try not to apply for that position or that company, right? So these are some of the KPIs which LinkedIn shows for all the job posts. And you can also see if Northeastern students are working over there or not, right? So that helps you to connect with them and ask for referral. Again, I'll take a pause, ask if I was audible and if you guys have any queries.
All
You're
good.
audible.
Are you guys finding it interesting, or was it something that you guys already aware of, or you are finding it like, okay, like this is new, this I wasn't aware? Yeah, Siddharth.
Yes, LinkedIn
Yeah, Siddharth.
the LinkedIn
Yeah,
Premium thing was really new to me.
okay.
Yeah, many of the
Yes.
points were new to me.
Okay. Any queries? Any other queries? Fatima, Darshit, Deep, Harit.
No, Preet, all good. Actually, about adding the skills in resume, that was really helpful because I have been adding all the skills for all the companies I've been applying to.
Mhm.
I was not like giving specific according to company requirements, so that was really helpful.
Yeah.
Hi, Preet. Regarding the resume thing, you were saying like we
Mhm.
could switch, like, say if I've used Tableau in a particular company for a particular position, but the
Mhm.
job that I'm applying is looking for Power BI. So you were saying you can, like, they are not asking for Tableau. And should we switch it to Power BI? We have not used it in the company though, but could we switch? Does it make sense? Because we don't know the tool. Maybe I have a very basic knowledge on how the tool works.
Okay. So there is something that I'll sharing at the end. I'll stop the recording.
Okay, cool.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So currently I'm recording, so I can share some things. But yeah, I'll share openly after I stop the recording. Yeah, Siddharth, go ahead.
About this premium feature, so could you please show like from where I understand that this is job posting specific, right? So I mean, I was not aware of the statistics we can get for each job postings as well. I mean, I was just checking, so I was not able to find where can we get it from. So if you can like later on as well, just show
Sure.
us. Yeah.
Uh, can you please take note of this point and ask at the end? I might forget.
Sure, sure.
Okay, so right now I don't want to switch the window, but I'll show
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. And also you can also see the median employee tenure. It's 4.7 years over here. So this is not fake. This is actually calculated by LinkedIn. So you can know like people are sustaining themselves for 5 years in that organization. So it's a good organization, right? Now, the most important part wherein we can get opportunities directly, which is inbound opportunity. So I'll tell you how LinkedIn earns. How is LinkedIn making money? You think LinkedIn Premium, like they're selling LinkedIn Premium and they're making money out of it? No, right? So LinkedIn Premium is would be not even 2% of the revenue, right? So their main product of LinkedIn is LinkedIn Talent Services. It's called LTS. You can Google it. LTS, LLS is LinkedIn Learning Services. So there are 3-4 products of LinkedIn. The most important product through which they generate revenue is LinkedIn Talent Services. So what LinkedIn does is, let's say it approached Amazon and they told them that, hey, I'll give you this product. And this product will help you to find the best people across the world with your whatever requirement you have. And this is what you have to pay. So if you buy our product for 5 years, we'll give you a discount. If you buy a product for 10 years, we'll give you even more percentage of discount, right? And that is how that they do acquisition of the customers and keep them with them, right? So that is LinkedIn Talent Services. This is a screenshot of the LinkedIn Talent product, which recruiters use to search for people. So we'll start with the first. So when you add open to work in your profile pic, it really helps them to find the people who are looking for job. Sometimes people don't add it because they think that my profile pic doesn't look good because of that hashtag, so they don't want to add it, but it's actually stopping you from getting appeared in that searches. Okay, so always add the open to work thing. Second is, you can see the filters, right, which they are able to see. So some of the organizations like LinkedIn and other companies, they want to hire from top-notch universities. So from that itself, you are removed from the job search. So if you, again, I'll go back, sorry for changing the slide. So if you see how many filters you get to search for a job, and just see the filters that they get to search you, it's because it's their product. The client is paying LinkedIn to search for people. Now, they can filter by current and past job titles. Make sure your position titles are accurate and standardized in a logical way. So I worked for 3 years in an organization as a project manager. If I add the title on LinkedIn or on my resume, I won't be highlighted or I won't be shown in that in their searches, right? So what if I, rather than project manager, if I show myself as a data analyst, considering the skills, the tools, and the job that I was doing as a project manager remains the same as a data analyst. So data analyst doesn't mean using Python, SQL, and Power BI all the time. If you see the core meaning of data analyst, then you analyze the data and find some insight and generate some revenue for the organization. That's the meaning of the data analyst. You can use whatever tools you want. You can use your brain if you know the data, or if you have to use the tool to make some decision, right? So what I did is I changed my title in my resume, also in my LinkedIn profile. So now doing this, the first fear that you'll get in your mind is, what if my previous organization comes to know that I'm writing a wrong title in my profile? So the thing is, they are not going to pay rent for you, and they're not going to pay for your education or your family, right? So over here, for the 2 years that are very critical to you, you are alone, no one is with you, and you have to search for a job, right? So as far as you have that confidence to convince someone, and you have that skills to explain someone what kind of job you had done, you are free to do whatever changes that you want in your resume. That's the most important thing. And you can change your job title, your words of your previous organization. Like I know some people working as an application developer in the previous organization, now working as a data analyst or data scientist. Now, the moment you tell a recruiter that you are an application developer and now you want to work as a data analyst, you will not be recruited. Right? Now, there is another fear of what if recruiter comes to know what you are doing in the past. So let me tell you, at LinkedIn, when I got the internship, they did 45 days of background research. Like the day I got an email that you are hired, and after that I had to fill a form, and after 45 days, still 45 days, they're literally doing background search. There was very limited information that I shared with them, very limited information. They asked me, what is your current job? Who are you working with? What was the previous manager's name, their email ID, their mobile number, and everything. Now, the thing is, I did approach my manager in the previous organization who left that job, was working with a different organization. Yet, LinkedIn approached the current manager who was working at that role on their own, and they asked them if Preet was working there. Right. So they sent me a report after doing the background search, and I did see whatever they did check. So I was very shocked to know that they literally went to all the people, all the HR and everyone just to make sure I was working. I did upload my salary slip as well for the background search, but still they don't trust it. They will ensure that I was working over there. So salary slip can be made in Photoshop. People do that so they can trust, right? And generally the job task of background search is given to a third party, right? It's not done by the people in that organization. It's given to someone else, and they are getting paid to look for you. Like, have you done any crime in the past? What is your background research? So I started my job at a small place, which is in Bharuch. Most of you might not even heard about it. They approached the organized people of the HR who were working over there, and they asked me if I was working there. So that's it. So they didn't ask what work I was doing, what was my designation, only the start date and the end date of that organization, right? So this is the insight that I'm sharing you at a personal level, which you guys can understand and try to tweak your resume in that way, right? This is risky. This is definitely risky. But again, like we are making a transition from one domain to another domain. I've already invested 80 lakhs on 1 crore over here. So it's worth to take that risk and try to look for jobs, right? So coming back to the second point, they can filter by current past job titles. So make sure you have the correct job titles which they want, okay? Not which you can think of or make it creative, which they want. Third thing is note that they can search for things, but they can also search for lack of things by excluding certain things in specific job titles. So it's like they can also search for words which they don't want, okay, which they want as well as they don't want. They can also do both the kind of searches. And sometimes people just mention software engineering in a job description, but they don't mention words like React, Node.js, or something like that, right? So they do search at very minor level. Again, recruiters don't use their brain. They only work on what is the requirement of hiring manager, right? So they'll specifically look for those words. So you don't want to miss that opportunity. Make sure you, like I was looking at a resume a few days back, that person was showed in the resume that the person has worked as an intern or data engineering position. And in those 5 bullets, there was not a single word of ETL or data pipeline. Now, when you think of a data engineering, that's the first thing that comes to your mind, right? I'm sorry, the people who are from other backgrounds, so I might not be using those technical terminologies of your domain, but you can still relate on your own. So make sure you mention those things in your LinkedIn. I'm only talking about LinkedIn right now. I'm not talking about resume, right? Your LinkedIn profile. Now, yeah, so that's most of it. Now I'll talk about the job application best practices. So this is what you should do for each application, for each opportunity. It could be internship, it could be job, whenever you come across. Don't stop yourself from switching to the another opportunity just by applying through LinkedIn or the career portal, right? Take a stop, take a pause. First, make sure you are applying through referral. If it takes time, you don't know people, just ask, look for people on LinkedIn and get a referral. Okay. Never apply without referral. When I was working at LinkedIn, I had seen the portal, how it looks like, how is the user interface of a recruiter. The people who apply through referrals are directly highlighted at the top section of their screen of the user interface. And the people who don't apply through referral, like they can directly filter them out, right? So always apply through referral. So you'll ask like what? So I was waiting for someone to reply for 3 days and that person didn't reply and that position got filled up and I lost the opportunity. So here is a golden rule: wait for 3 days for that person to approach. Don't approach to just one person, approach to 10, 20, 30, 40 people you know, approach every one of them, make a common template of a message, just change the name and pass it to all the people you know working in that organization. And whosoever replies to you the first, just take their referral and apply. Okay. Now at that time, you don't have to feel bad that, okay, I approached 50 people, 10 did approach to me, but I only used one referral. That's fine, that happens. You have to be selfish for yourselves, but make sure you don't apply without referral. That's the first point. Second is just applying to referral won't work. After that, you have to do a cold email or email to a recruiter or the hiring manager or the people you know in that organization, right? So I used a lot of words over here. Cold email is something that you will use your email account and email that person. You don't even know email of that person. You'll try to make email on your own, first name dot last name @organization.com, and share your interest, like why you're interested in that job. That's called cold email. Email is like, it's a feature of LinkedIn wherein that person, even if it's not your connection, you can send a message to them. Now I mentioned recruiters, hiring managers, and people. So let me tell you the difference between hiring in India and hiring in US. So in India, hiring manager look for people and they shortlist them. And then they pass 4 or 5 people to the recruiter and then they'll negotiate on the salary and then give an offer to someone else. In US, recruiter is the first wall that you have to face, and then comes the hiring manager. Now, what if you bypass the first wall and directly reach out to the hiring manager? That also works, right? So, and recruiters are the people you should avoid talking to because they are really helpless, like, and hopeless. So most of the time you approach recruiter, you will get a reply like, sure, so we'll look out to online application that you've applied and we'll try to get back to you if you fit for that role. That's the only message that you'll get, right? Now, get LinkedIn Premium. That's very mandatory. Why? Because you get emails in LinkedIn Premium. You get 5 emails if you use Premium Career and 15 emails every month if you use Premium Business. It's a good investment. Don't buy LinkedIn Premium from US. Ask someone to buy it from India and you can use it, right? When to apply? So I started job application when I was looking for apartment in US. So if you haven't started yet, please start now. It's late. How many application you should do per day? I would suggest keep a target of 10. From 10, you should do 2 quality applications. Quality applications means the way I explained before. Read the job description carefully. Read the skills which they require. highlight the skills which they don't require. That's more important. Remove those skills from your resume, add the skills which are required. Make sure you have bullets for each of the skills that you have mentioned. So that's kind of called sanity check. So if you do 10 applications using sanity check, you will miss out on your assignment deadline because it will take a lot of time. So you can only do 2 quality applications. So if you find a position which is fit to your role, like I can make it, this is what I want, right? So only then invest that amount of time, or else whatever resume you find, just apply. You don't have to wait. Now, which companies to apply? You can apply to all companies. We are beggars, we are not choosers. So whosoever gives us opportunity will apply. But when you are looking for full-time opportunities, you have to make sure that company sponsors H1B. So even if it's not mentioned in the job description, you can go to this website, myvisajobs.com, and you can write the name of that organization. You will come to know if that company e-verify or not, right? And how to apply. So I told apply through referral. So now is the challenge, like how to find the people who really will give a referral. So you don't have to randomly approach people and ask them for referral. This is an easy way you can come to know how to identify people who gives a referral, right? So I would say just write the name of the organization, and after that write referral. So you will get to know the list of all the people who have been recently posting. And if you click on see more or somewhere, you'll also get the link. So there are different types of referral. One type of referral is you have to ask that person personally, send your resume, send your email ID, and then you'll get an email on your spam or in your email account. And only after that, you'll be able to apply. And that kind of referral is such a way that you can only apply to that specific position. For example, if you want another position, you'll again have to ask for that referral for the other position. You will find kind of referrals for companies like Chewy, PayPal, and TikTok, wherein there is a single link which these people have posted on their LinkedIn post. You just have to click it, and you can apply hell lot of opportunities, hell lot of jobs which you want using that link. One such example is also JP Morgan, right? So use this skill to find those people, and you can make an Excel sheet of these companies and the people who you need to approach, right? So it becomes very easy. So I have some people who will always I'll approach. Let's say if I want to apply in Cardinal Health, if I want to apply in CVS Health, if I want to apply in Amazon, I know people whom I need to approach, and they give me a referral quickly, or else I have the links which I can use. Now, rule of 100. So this works most of the time. For every 100 applications, you will receive one call for interview. This works, definitely works, right? And this rule of 100 works for most of the part. For example, if you post something on LinkedIn, if 100 people see your post, there are high chances that at least one person will like your post, right? So a rule of 100, yeah, you can like go ahead and check your post if you have done in the past, and you can see how many number of impressions were there and how many likes or comments were there. Storage and organizing your resume. So save all resumes for the way I showed you, like how you should store on a Google Drive. So if your laptop stops working someday, if you lose it, so still your resumes will be on Drive and you can access it from anywhere, right? Yeah. So again, I'll take a pause. So guys, what is something that you found interesting, different, we were not doing? Feel free to share.
I think this searching with the keyword referral with the company name is something which is very insightful for me. Seems very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And also the panel that the recruiters can see on LinkedIn
which we never
Mhm.
knew. Like, they had so many filters to filter each one of us. So
Yeah,
we were like just blindly hitting the arrows in the dark before, and now we know like why we aren't getting selected if we aren't.
exactly. Anything else, Avinash, Aishwarya, Darshit, Fatima?
I think number 4 point, I know this is for our future goals for now, but this was really useful for us, this myvisajobs.com.
Hmm.
And yeah, the referral one as well.
Yeah,
But I'm really confused about how to approach that person for like, would he really help out?
yeah. So I'll talk about the templates and how to talk to someone, and why would an unknown person talk to you? Why would they help? I'll talk about that as
And
well.
also, I once got you have talked about this inbound hiring, right?
Hmm.
Recruitment. So once I
Mhm.
got a LinkedIn email from a recruiter about I want to know about you more and all that stuff. But he never, after I replied, he never approached me again. Like I felt it was fake.
Mhm. Yeah, that happens.
Okay.
Like, hi Preet, like, can you just tell us, like, how do you get the difference? Like, many of people call and they say that this job is available, that is available, but you never know which is real or fake, like, until and unless you have spoken to them. Because
Hmm.
for you right now, the mind is such that any job you will get, you will tend to go, but you do not know, like, which is actually real, which is
Hmm.
fake. So, like, how do you differentiate? Because it looks very convincing.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, mhm. So one way which you can do is visit that person's LinkedIn profile. So I'll tell you how fake can a person be. I have literally seen organizations, they working from India, but they have changed their location to California or Texas, and they will be awake across the night, and they'll post you in your afternoon and in the evening. So you will tend to believe that they are in United States. They work during the night only, and they'll like approach you and tell you that share your resume, and they'll fetch some personal details after your resume, and they'll give to some other organizations which are like credit card companies and all those stuff, right? So they sell your data, and they are making money out of it. They are not actually a staffing company, but this is what they have been doing, right? So, and that's going to happen because you have mentioned the open to work hashtag in your profile. So this only comes with experience, like you will come to know, and also visit the LinkedIn profile and you'll see like what have been the past activities. If you know recruiters, like you just visit TikTok, Amazon, Microsoft, you know how recruiters are, what the kind of post they do, right? So that's the way you can differentiate. Okay. Uh, Last but not the least, you can send me a screenshot and maybe I can help you in reviewing it. That's a last option that we can do. Now, yeah, this is something that I came to know when I was at LinkedIn. So let's say I came across this job post at CGI. CGI is a huge organization, by the way. It's one of the biggest consulting firms in the world. So let's say they have this job position, and this is the name of the recruiter that you obviously like this. You will come to know the recruiters in most of the job positions, right? So what we do is we just click on this person's name, directly message or email, and we are done. To stop ourselves over there. So just visit that person's LinkedIn profile and you'll see some profiles over here. Who do you think these people are? Right? So you can see the CGI, and all of them are talent acquisitions or recruiters or even vice presidents. Right? So first thing that I would do is I'll connect with all of them, and So these are the people who are working with this lady. Okay. And so if in case, and this happens, like some people don't reply, and that's obvious, like that's very normal, right? So if in case this recruiter doesn't reply to me, I'll reach out to this recruiters, and let us assume that these people are not working with her. So what I'll do is I'll approach them and tell them I'm interested in mid-level BI developer, and do you mind sharing details of the recruiter, the hiring manager, something like that. So recently I have been following this thing from a while, and I did get 2 opportunities like this, wherein the responsible recruiter was not replying, but some other recruiter replied to me. They got back to me that I have CC'd the recruiter who is responsible for this, and you can share your interest with them, right? So this is what you can do. So don't stop yourself over here itself. Go to the next step. Just check the chat. Okay. Now the LinkedIn best practices. So if you visit the profile of some MIT people, you will see 118 connections, 476 connections, right? So there are a lot of people who will debate like what is the sense of making connections on LinkedIn, because the people at Harvard, MIT, Stanford, they don't make connections. So as I told you, like Stanford and MIT is a brand. So if you have an organization and you hire people from this school, that means your organization is good. No one will even see your business, how much revenue you are generating, but because you have alumni from these schools, that means your organization is legit, right? So the recruiters approach, as I told you, the filters from the schools, they approach them, right? So they don't really need to do networking, but people like us who don't have such alma mater or haven't shown the skill, so we do need to make connections. So these are 8 checklists which you can run to make sure if your LinkedIn profile is good. First, have a professional photo. Okay, if not, now I won't be explaining what is a professional photo. You can just Google difference between a casual photo and a professional photo. There is a hypothesis of LinkedIn, and they say that 70% of the people will open your LinkedIn profile just by seeing your photo. Headline is the second part. What you do, where you graduated, what's your alma mater is secondary. 70% will open just based on your profile pic. So profile pic is really important. I can't stress enough the importance of profile pic. So make sure you have a professional photo. Second is the background photo that captures your interest and personality, right? So the background photo is the header. Like if you visit the LinkedIn profile, behind that there is a something given, which people think that you can't edit, but you can edit, and you can add a photo over there, which should show your interest. Mention open to work. Fourth is summary section. So it could have been years you updated your summary section. So after this session or this, yeah, let's celebrate this weekend in updating our LinkedIn profile today.
મરી જઈશ કોઈ જવાનું નથી.
Now, make sure you have professional job and also contain job responsibilities, right? Just adding job doesn't work. Responsibility should be updated. It shouldn't be like in resume, you are faking out as much as you wanted, but the moment someone visits your LinkedIn profile, they'll come to know that you worked something else in the organization, right? So make sure if you are changing your resume, you also update your LinkedIn responsibility, right? Attach all the certificates that you have received during your professional work. If you have worked for a year or 2 or 3, just send an email to your manager and tell them that if they can submit a letter of recommendation to you and attach that in your job, wherever you, I mean, in the professional experience, right? So recruiters do see those kind of stuff, that you have been appreciated by your manager, right? So that doesn't also require background check. So some of the times, like, they skip the background check because your manager has already given you recommendation on LinkedIn, and you have shown like the pat on back or whatever appreciation or certificates or medals you have received. Incorporate coursework. So we do mention the coursework in a resume for undergrad and masters. We don't mention coursework on our LinkedIn profile. So please do add it. And also, skills endorsement is really, really important, because recruiters filter you by the skills, and you don't need to add all the skills that you know across the globe. Add only the skills are related to you, and ask all the people to endorse it. If it's the endorsement is more than 10, then that means like you have that skill. But if you have just added it, you don't have endorsement, that means like recruiter might not trust those endorsement. Okay. Recommendation is very important. So let's say I took recommendation from Unnati or Venkat today. So I should be humble enough to take recommendation from now, because even though they're a student, but tomorrow they might be working in Google, they might be working in some big organization, right? So you always you should have a vision of next 10 years, right? So make sure, so while working as at a master's, right, you should maintain professional and personal relationship with all the people. And if you help them, you don't need to expect any help from them in return. But only thing you need to do is just take a recommendation from them and ask them to post it on LinkedIn. So what that does is it will help you to uplift your profile, right? From 10 years down the line or 5 years down the line, right? So this is the target for next 6 months. Make a list of all the companies that can hire you, or where you can find your desired role in US. As a bonus, I'm going to share a list of 440 companies which are part of NUWorks or are Northeastern alumni who have already been working there. So it's easy for you to go to their profile and look for jobs. So you will definitely find internships or definitely find jobs easily related to your role. Second is connect with at least one person per company who can provide you referral. Connect with at least one recruiter per company who replies to you when you ask something. Okay. And make 100 connections every week. So in LinkedIn, there is a limitations of 100 connections. The people who are not even making connections won't even know about the limit. So every week it just take 10 minutes to make connections. Who you need to connect with? I would personally connect with Northeastern people, right? So there is a phrase called "we rise by lifting others." So whenever you open a company's profile and you find connection and you look for people from your school working over there, the first preference will be people from Northeastern who are working over there. It's easy for you to approach them, right? So make sure you make connections with Northeastern people. It doesn't matter if they are in whichever domain, because over here, even if they are in biotech, they're still getting into data science or data analysis, right? So at the end, like, you never know who will be working with you. So don't wait for layoffs to make connections. Start making connections today. And don't bifurcate juniors, seniors, job or jobless, right? You never know what that person is going to become in few years. Each student in US an asset. You never know who will change your life. Okay, so treat everyone with respect, and don't spoil your relationship with any of your roommates or connections on anyone. Okay.
Preet, I just wanted to ask, like, what about these recruitment companies, like many are posted online. So like I guess few must be legit and few I don't know, like mustn't be like, up to the mark. So like how do you differentiate between them? Like because what you said, like you can keep trying, but you need some backup options as well. So like are these recruitment firms also like proper in a way, like
Are you
which
looking
are like
for
given online?
internship or full time?
For I am like speaking from a full-time perspective, but right now I'm looking for co-op internship.
Okay. So as of now, you don't, firstly for internship, you don't need to even think about those staffing companies. So the moment you open LinkedIn and go to their profiles page, so first the company type will be mentioned. Is it IT consulting company, is it a networking software company, or is it a staffing company? Dice, you might have heard about Dice. You might have seen a lot of posts from Dice. So Dice is a staffing company. Even mistakenly, if you made account over there, you'll get hell lot of calls every day from Dice. And even if you remove your mobile number from there, still it is saved in the backend database. So they'll still call you, right? So yeah, so there's a lot of stuff happening. Personally, I haven't came across any legit staffing company till now, right? So maybe I'm not the right person to comment on that. Okay.
But like
Sorry, Deep,
I
you're
just want
muted.
I just wanted to know, like, are those actually legit or they are just scam? Because
Maybe we can discuss after the call, or you can share me some
yeah.
names and maybe I
Oh
can
yeah,
ask my connections to verify it. Okay.
oh yeah, no problem.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, so the art of networking. Why would a unknown person help you, right? So I will spend as much time replying to your mail as much as you spent thoughtfully writing it. So what we do is like we need to treat all the recruiters with respect. We can't just have a template of 4 lines and keep on pasting, because you have to also think about their life, like what's happening with them, right? So everyone has family problems. Even if it doesn't matter how much you are earning, you'll always have some family problems. So in the professional life, when every day you get messages from hundreds of people, how do you think you will be differentiated, right? So you are also one of them. You're also pinging them, disturbing them, right? So if you have an intention to really connect with that person, just visit the LinkedIn profile. Spend 5-10 minutes in understanding them. What do they like? What they don't like? If they like pets, what sports are they following? Right. So after that, I'll show you some templates wherein you can write a personalized message for that person. So the first line shouldn't be about yourself, it should be about them. So you should learn this skill not only for job, even if you're working with your roommates, your project partners in colleges, uh, you might be having some colleagues as well who will be working with in future, right? So we should learn from Americans. How do they talk to each other? So like so this kind of things really matter. Okay, you should never ask for work directly. No one will help you, right? First step. So let me explain the meaning of networking. Networking doesn't mean asking someone for job. Networking means making a rapport with that person. Even if that person is not hiring right now, you can still go ahead and build your rapport with that person. The day that person will have a vacancy, they will first think about you. Because see, people who are at a top position in the organization are very lonely, right? So you might feel that this is a vice president, this is a president, this is a senior talent recruiter, So let's say even you all are working, I'm studying at Northeastern. Have you ever approached a faculty at Northeastern and asked for a coffee? Have you even approached the dean of Northeastern University and told them that, hey, I want 30 minutes with you and talk to you? Why? Because they are not going to give us job. That's our first mentality, right? And that is the reason we do never approach them. And the moment we realize we need job, we directly ask for job. So we don't have the time to, make that rapport with that person. So stop acting or reacting at 11th hour. Okay. Imbibe this habit of making connections and building that rapport. So there is a very good example which I used to share with people. Let's say there is a hot girl in a class or in a club, right? And there are a lot of guys sitting around. None of them will approach that girl because everyone will assume that she is taken or she is already has a boyfriend or she would be in a relationship, or it's very hard to convince her, right? And that is the reason most of the beautiful girls in the world have a guy who's not that handsome but has money or still has a relationship with her. It's because most of the people assume and the one who acts get that opportunity, right? So first thing, that when you are applying for job, making connections, have your mind empty. Don't make any assumption. You just have to ask. If you never ask, it's always a no, right? So that's the theory. And the main point, which is why would an unknown person help you? So just think about LinkedIn. LinkedIn has 65 million people, active users every day. Do you think 65 million people are looking for a job every day? Do you think there are 65 million opportunities open? No. Yet every day they open LinkedIn. So what is the reason? Why are people using LinkedIn? So it's because they want to talk. They want to share their thoughts, right? There are people who don't have some people to talk to in real life, but when they share on LinkedIn, they have their connections who like what they share, right? So, and that becomes their life. So the moment you approach these people for help, so being a human, so humanity does exist. So people want to become a part of your progress. If you achieve something, and if I have helped you or someone has helped you and you reach at a certain stage in your life and you are very humble and you still share gratitude with that person, so there are hormones in our body which gets activated if someone appreciates us. And you will find that if someone appreciated you in the very morning or even start your day, your day will go really good. Okay, you will enjoy that day. That's the power of gratitude. That's the power of appreciation, right? And we lack that appreciation. Just think of your past week. How many times you appreciated someone? Did you appreciate your project partner? Did you appreciate your parents? We hardly, like, we take them for granted, right? We just talk with them for 30 minutes or an hour or so, but we never show gratitude, right? So imbibe this habit of sharing gratitude with people, even if they are not going to give you opportunity, but still show gratitude. So when recruiters post any comments, something, just share your feelings, share your whatever, like just appreciate, learn, fake it till you make it, right? Just show like, yeah, you are interested in that person, in knowing that person, right? So after saying this, let's learn to draft a message for a stranger. Okay. So let's say today I am talking with you guys so humbly. Tomorrow I might get a job in Google and I might not even reply to you because I'm in Google, I'm earning 400K, 800K a year. And now I don't even need anyone, right? So there are a lot of people on LinkedIn who are at this position. They have ego. So how to cut down that ego, right? We haven't achieved anything, so we don't have that confidence to convince that person to help us. So how can we do that? So first, so this is a template wherein first is introduction, Second is intention, appreciation, and forward guidance. So first, take some time and visualize that person, what that person has been doing, what that person has been posting. Second thing is ego massage. So the moment you appreciate someone, that ego gets removed. Okay. So let's say if I, let's say I have this book, okay, of Robert Greene, right? So what people do is they read their 15-minute summary video on YouTube and they see that they have read this book. But you think this author took 20 years to write this book. He literally like visited 12 countries, met 1,000+ people, and after that he wrote this book. So if you visit that person's LinkedIn profile and ping him that I saw your struggle and I really appreciate, or I even cried reading your book, I'm sure that person will reply, right? So rather than just posting that this is the book and this is the summary, so you should share how you feel. So that is the part of ego massage. After that, you have to show some respect and curiosity. And why me? A lot of people on LinkedIn, 65 million people on LinkedIn. Why are you approaching that person? What's special in that person that made you approach them? So write that. So some do's and don'ts. So this is way I would start conversation with an unknown person. So first I'll think at what age that person is. If that person is just 5 years or 10 years elder or younger than me, then this is the kind of messages I would send. First, look at the don'ts. Can you please review my resume? Please find the attached document. I get a lot of messages like this. I hardly reply to them. Someone also sent like, thanks for connecting with me. This is the by default message that LinkedIn shows. And they just click on it. Can you provide referral? Directly. The moment that person has been connected with you and you ask for referral. Can you share experience working with Amazon? Can you share your working with Facebook? Why will that person share you firstly? And it's LinkedIn chat, right? Like how can a person write paragraphs of their experience? Now, if you show ego, attitude, or letting someone down, someone approached you from India that, hey, I got admit from Northeastern and I'm looking for I have some questions. So you should think like you are also in the same position some days back and you also wanted some guidance, but you ignored it because you're looking for a job. You don't need that person anymore. So that shouldn't be done, right? You should always treat everyone with respect. So these are some do's, which is easy for someone. So when I ask some questions to you and the answer is yes or no, it becomes very easy for someone to reply. Should my second paragraph in LinkedIn summary be removed or it makes sense? So that person will go to your LinkedIn profile, just read the summary. And what you're asking, you're not asking for inputs. You're only asking if it makes sense or no. So the answer is in yes or no. So by doing that thing, you convince that person to visit your LinkedIn profile firstly and read about you. And if that thing triggers that person, they'll directly talk to you, like they'll enjoy talking to you. Should I mention skill section before work experience or after it in the resume? What are your thoughts? So again, the question isn't just, answer isn't just one line, after or before. I see that you have worked at Amazon. Do you mind if I ask a query related to it? First ask. Don't directly share the query. First ask. So the answer for this question is yes or no, right? Praise him or her for whatever she knows or has done. So someone has spent 6 years at a bank in India, and after that they are vice president of JP Morgan now. So you should appreciate that person. First take a second and appreciate. That person will definitely reply if you appreciate. Okay, don't directly ask for. Yeah, though, why would a stranger help you? So on an average, people spend 60% of conversation talking about themselves. And this figure jumps to 80% when communicating via social media like Twitter or Facebook. So if you ask someone that, hey, I want to spend 30 minutes with you, and in that 30 minutes also you speak about yourself, that person will never help you. You should ask questions about them. You should show curiosity in their life, that how did you do this? How did you do that? And ask some follow-up questions. You should not touch to the sensitive areas, but definitely the areas wherein that person has performed really well. Okay, so again, that hormones plays a role, and that person will definitely help you out. I give this example: no one approaches the hot girl in the bar, so catch the big fish. And don't approach recruiters, approach hiring managers. Right. Now, talking about the bonus again, yeah, I'll take a second and ask. So, how did you feel when I know I went a lot of like towards the philosophy, but yeah. So, what are your thoughts? Somewhere did you feel like, okay, this is going way out of the discussion, or you felt like, yeah, we never thought in that direction and should be done?
I think yes, the way you told us like how to frame a message to the recruiters or referrals, that was really helpful. Maybe I'll change my way of contacting them or writing a message to them now.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Siddharth.
You mentioned like to reach out to the hiring manager instead. Like, what if, I mean, is there any way we can know who's the hiring manager if it is not mentioned in the job posting? It's just the recruiter's name mentioned.
Yeah, we can. So just so I have after so I spend 80% of the time throughout the day in networking with people. So now I have those many connections whom I can directly ask that this is the job ID and can you share the hiring manager? So that person would go to the portal and check who is the hiring manager, and after you come to know, you can approach them. No one will share the email ID.
Right.
If any employee shares email ID with you and gets caught, gets fired in United States. So never ever ask anyone for email ID directly. Even if you ask a manager for the email ID directly, they'll tell you that share your queries here. Okay, so if you ask someone for email ID, that's unethical, unprofessional. So they would stop replying. In short, you should never. So you can do cold emails, you can assume the email ID on your own, but never ask for email ID.
Okay.
Yeah, Avinash, you were saying something? Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Siddharth.
Sorry. Like not for this part, but in general, like there are times when we want to like follow up on our application, like it's been 4 or 5 months already, and on the portal it would be just showing up the status as under review. And I mean, as you mentioned like previously, that we need to keep track of all the job applications and the job roles as well, but like I've not been doing that. So is there any way like we can know whom to reach out to just to take the follow-up? Because in the application portal it wouldn't show any recruiter's name or any contact that we can reach out to just to get an update on the application. Because there are times like I reached out to a couple of seniors or alums. They also mentioned that there are times when you have to take follow up, and they might then again reach out to you like to schedule or give an update per se. So like, is there any way that we can know how we can contact
See,
whom to contact?
It took me 9 months to get into LinkedIn. Okay, so I learned a lot of patience from them, and I never followed up.
Okay.
So, and after 9 months they reach out to me that we have a position if you want to join, right?
Okay.
So, and that happened because before 9 months I had a 1 hour of discussion with the director of that department, and I'd asked him a lot of questions about his life.
Okay.
So regarding coming back to your question, so first you can, so sometimes when you get a thank you email after you apply the job,
No.
over there the recruiter's name is mentioned
Okay.
most of the time that I've seen,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So that's one way to do cold email and follow up with them.
Okay.
And another important point will come up in one of the bonus, so you can also relate with that. But yeah, so don't follow up in a week, at least give them 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and after that, yeah, we can follow up.
Preet, I have a question. Usually, people generally post that they're looking for some job roles as a LinkedIn post, right? So, is it a good idea to do the same for even internships and co-ops too?
So I see a lot of Northeastern students who post on LinkedIn, and I go to their comment and mention, why should I hire you?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So those people delete my comment and they
Mm-hmm.
ping me that, why did you write that in my post? Then I tell
Okay.
them that because you didn't mention, why should someone hire you? So you literally
Okay.
visit those people's profile, you'll see that they have done mechanical engineering, no work experience, doing masters in data analytics, and they mention that they have this many skills.
Mm-hmm.
So you should always mention why you should be hired. If you're mentioning that, yes, your job post will definitely trigger in a way like you will get more than 500 people likes or something. But if you do a general approach like commenting interested in a recruiter's post or something, it doesn't work. Thousands of people writing comment interested, how are you standing different in the crowd, right?
So while writing such kind of post, if I say I have some hands-on experience, I mentioning those skills and also some experience with the previous project, a little information about that, would that help?
I'll show you the templates, what kind of
Okay, sure,
way you can post.
sure, sure.
Yeah, Unnati, sorry to keep you waiting.
No problem, Preet. So I have questions. So when we connect with people, right? So while we are connecting, there is an option to personalize the invite, and I suppose that we should always use that, right? So, and it's a short message. We cannot write a long paragraph there. So how do you ensure that you mention everything about you, and again, like making an impact that they
Mhm.
connect with you? How do you ensure that? And
Yeah, so I'll.
after
Mhm.
that, uh, so yeah, the second question is, so a lot of people talk about talking to the people and asking them for like 20 minutes of call or 30 minutes of meeting with them, because the time may always not match, right, when we are talking to them and trying to have a long conversation. So what do you
Mhm.
think about this? Right, yeah, so these are the two questions I have.
So you said you ask someone for 20 minutes call.
Yeah, right. Like, I'm not sure, like, if you would have been taught in my co-op class, they said, and even a lot of
Mhm.
people who I have talked to who
Mhm.
were searching for the job, and like they talk about networking, they say that it's good to have a meeting, like 30 minutes of
Mhm.
meeting, 20 minutes of meeting with them, instead of having a conversation on LinkedIn, like
Yeah.
during
Mhm.
that. So I just want to know your thoughts about this and how
Yeah,
this worked out for you, if you followed
sure,
it. Yeah.
sure. Yeah, I'll answer that. Uh, so I'll answer meanwhile. So answer is in the bonus, one of the bonus. I'll go through the
Yeah,
bonus
sure.
first. Yeah. So this is the list of companies that I'll be sharing. For most of them have embedded the LinkedIn profile or their company's profile. So two things that you can do sometimes, as I told, it costs $45 to post a job on LinkedIn. So some of the times they only post it on their portal and not on LinkedIn. So you may want to also visit their careers profile and check. Okay. And if you find it hectic, you should first think, why did you come to US? Right. So this is the process everyone has to go through, and we are not special. So we have to go through each of the company's careers profile, check the LinkedIn, and look for internship or job, right? So I'll share, don't worry about these things. I'll be sharing the link. Now, talking about the template. So these are my personal template. So the people who are working with machine learning, they are aware about hyperparameter tuning. And so it's like, let's say you made a template, you sent it to someone, you sent it to 100 people, and no one replied. You tweak something and again send it to 100 people, and you said, okay, 20 replied. So again tweak someone. So that is how you'll reach at a level where you optimize your post in such a way that even if you send it to 10 people, 8 will reply, right? So I spent like a couple of years on tweaking my templates for emails, for cold emails, and after this, I have found that most of the people do reply to me. Again, saying that, it doesn't mean it will work out for you as well, because this is what is about my life. But you can just understand the crux of it. So if I start about talking about my peers and juniors, so let's say you're connecting with Northeastern people. So you just don't have to like use both of your thumbs and start connecting with 100 people and say, yes, I've achieved the milestone. After they're connected, you are supposed to send them a message. So you should say like, hi, I saw we both have a passion for data analytics. So that gives a feeling to that person that, yes, you did see this personal profile, and that person will also see your profile. And just one line about you and what is something that you can help that person. For example, I run a Slack channel to help Indians in US searching for internship and job. So this is something that triggers most of the people that, yes, this is really helpful for me. So please do send me your YouTube channel or Slack channel, something. And again, like Deep mentioned, that how to identify if this person is fake or if it's a recruiting company or staffing company. So I don't work in a recruitment, by the way. I'm just helping aspiring data analysts, because when I started, I didn't know where to begin. So that builds a trust in that person. And even if you send this message to 100 people, not every 100 is going to ask you questions. It could be hardly one or two. So if you think that I send this message to everyone, I'll be having a lot of LinkedIn messages and I have to help them and I'll spend a lot of time. That's not going to happen. No one has time, right? Everyone staying in US has to clean their own utensils, make their bed, cook their food, and travel to college, do assignments. They have a lot of job responsibilities as well, right? So no one has time to talk to you, but it's something that they will feel good. And the next time you approach them for help, they already have this message in their messages. So they know that they had a conversation with you before. So you won't be a stranger to them. So you can I'll ask a question at the end in terms of your data career. What are you currently struggling with? So you're showing empathy to that person. You're caring, right? For strangers / non-Indians. Okay. So I've seen Americans like puppy or a pet, right? So this is the last line. I have never had a discussion with my mom. None of us in our family like pets, but still I'm mentioning over here that I'm convincing my mom to get a puppy, right? So this is something that really interests those people. So by using this template, I have found like Americans do reply. Now for hiring managers, this is a template. So so this is used, these are bullets actually, just to fit in the template I've written as a paragraph. So I'm good for fit for the role because I have 5 years of experience. I worked as a data analyst in LinkedIn. I'm data driven to the max. All day, either coding or make visualization and help the companies become data driven. I haven't written Python. I haven't written HTML. No tools, nothing. I started with work experience, what I'm currently doing, and something which is non-technical but still gives them an idea like why I'm passionate. Right. After that, I go into more detail. So whenever you send a message to someone, don't start with verbose. It like no one will read it. Okay, start with something that person wants. After that, you can go to detail that this is what I have achieved. And after that, I'm a hustler. So I've done a lot of stuff when I was in my undergrad. So I also ran an NGO, which taught me. So you should take a moment and think about your past. What did you do and what did you learn from it? And try to write it in a small paragraph, 2 to 3 lines. So after that, I've written like I would love to get on meet on call and why I'm excited about this position. So already explained why you are interested and why you are fit. Both you are mentioned, right? And for cold email, again, the same thing I've mentioned. So over here, I have written, yeah. So this is something which is applicable to everyone, irrespective of the domain. Like I have been an ardent follower and admirer of your work, right from organization 1 to organization 2. I have been keenly reading your LinkedIn post on, you can change the topic names. So this is a kind of template which, gives them a zeal that, yeah, like you are really interested. So first I introduced myself in just 2 lines. Now, moment I write LinkedIn, it triggers their interest. And again, I'm writing in Boston, so that means I'm in United States. Okay, that's the only purpose. So there is a reason behind each line why I'm writing it. And I have interest. So by writing this paragraph, I've broken down that ego. This is ego massaging. So after that, I've written, I wanted to connect with you and chat about the experience of Cardinal Health. So I'm asking what I want to know about that person. So what is something that is, making her or his life interesting at that organization, the scope of professional development, what did she learn? Right. So I understand your schedule will be very hectic, but I shall be highly indebted if you sacrifice 15 minutes of your time. Right. So I appreciated her that she must be very busy. Even if she is not busy, I did tell her that she would be busy. And I'm just asking for 15 minutes. I also mentioned that I'm available on weekend. So this kind of message does like you'll definitely get a lead. So what you need to do is just fit in your stuff in here. Okay, so I'll take a pause and we can do some discussion. Before that, Avinash, are you facing some issue? Because I see like you are getting
That's good. That's good. I'm facing some issues with my laptop. So I don't realize.
I'm not able to hear you at all, but are you able to hear me? Yes or no?
Yes, I can do it.
Perfect. That's it.
So as you said, coming to the resume, best practice of resume building. So I would like to know that is it that mandatory? Like we should mention only the mandatory jobs. I mean skills that we have to mention.
Okay, go on. Do you have any other queries? I'll answer everything together.
Yeah. So as you said that we need to mention the skills required in the resume, and can you just summarize the best practices of resume building regarding the what we have experience in previous and what we gonna apply for right now. Like we may not apply for the same jobs what we have done before. Suppose I have experience in a different domain, and I'm going to apply for uh, apply for a different domain, since I wanted to change my domain.
Hmm.
So these are my queries.
Okay. So I'll just answer in short. So first is, again, I'm not an expert. I just shared my experience, wherein so the only point I'm trying to make is whatever skills you mentioned, you can write 100 skills. Doesn't matter. But just make sure you explain where you applied it. If you're mentioning a skill in your skill section, but it's not there in the professional experience or the project, there is no sense of adding it. Okay. And
Okay.
yeah, another thing that you asked is regarding the switching the domain, right?
Yes.
Uh,
So even if we make our resume according to the job description that I have experience, or like even without experience, we can mention like doing a project, like we had a hands-on experience on it, and still we have a history in LinkedIn that we have mentioned, like at every role, like every program that we opted for.
Yeah, I got you. So if you see, I'm not showing my bachelor's in my resume.
Yeah, I can
And
see it.
yeah, and whenever I apply to any jobs, I don't even mention where I've done my undergrad. The reason being,
Okay.
whenever I mention mechanical engineering and whenever a recruiters, so how do people read a paper? They start from the top, not from the center, not from the bottom. Okay. And when you have 100 documents to read, you will start from top, and the moment something triggers to you, they'll change the resume and go to the another. Right.
Okay.
So mechanical
Yes.
engineering triggers someone that if this person has done this, how can he do that? And that skip. So I don't want even a single bullet point in my resume that would trigger the person to change or skip me. Right. So let's say if you make your profile on Tinder, you will upload the best pics of yours because you don't want the girl to skip you. Right. Similarly, in
Yes.
resume, you only have to mention those things which, even if you are 1% not sure about that bullet point, just remove it. Right. Only mention things that will let her read throughout.
Okay.
So this will come with experience. Like you will find that, okay, writing this, and that is the reason we generally ask people to apply lot of applications.
Hello.
Okay. So can I go on?
Yeah, go ahead.
So is it and again we need to mention our job role, designation in experience.
Right.
So
Avinash, what I can do is, because we already have reached the time, so you can write in the chat and I'll summarize it in short. Okay. Meanwhile, because
okay,
all
sure.
other people also have questions.
Sure.
I just have
Sorry.
like one more question. Like there is a big ambiguity about that 1 page, 2 page resume. So like I have made both, and many people say that it's okay to have 2 pages, and many are saying like it should only be in 1 page. So like what is this like confusion? Because I don't know, like I've just
Yeah.
done mixed
So
reviews.
unless you have 8 years of work experience or a PhD, just have one page of resume. If you are in United States, in India, it doesn't matter. Even if you write 5 pages, it doesn't matter. United States, if you are applying for job or internship, it has to be 1 page. If you can't express or explain someone in 1 page, it's difficult for someone, you know. to know what you have done in life. So if you have done PhD or 8 years of more than 8 years of work experience, then it's fine. Okay. Now going to another bonus. So hacks for on-campus jobs. So the people who are looking for on-campus. Firstly, like people have a selective thinking that I only want to do specific kind of jobs. I only want to become TA. If I work at a restaurant, my friends will judge me and all those stuff, right? So I know we never thought about this working on campus in India, because even if you worked, you might not get that amount of money. But in the United States, just if you convert the amount of amount of dollars you get paid into rupees, it's even more than someone's full-time salary in India, which you get for working at a restaurant. So beggars are not choosers. I see this every time. Be open to do all type of on-campus opportunities, because you need money to pay the rent, right? Now, the biggest mistake that people make is they approach a student who is employed directly for referral. They will never help you. I am a TA. I also need to pay my rent. If I refer someone to become TA and there's just one vacancy, there's just one requirement of a TA, why would I refer you? So you getting me? So the reason that most people like they make mistake is they ask a TA itself, like, how should I approach to the professor? So the moment you tell a TA that you are interested, they will make sure that you don't get a job. I'm not that kind of person, but this has been like, I'm giving you the insights, like what used to happen in the back end, right? So the only thing that you need to do is you should directly approach to the main person. Always, it is said that like, listen to the horse's mouth, right? So always talk to professor or supervisor directly. We assume everyone approaches, and that's the reason no one does. So the moment lecture ends and you see a lot of people gather around the professor, and you assume that someone might have already talked to the professor about on campus, so when will I get chance? And I don't even have right background or work experience. So let me tell you, it's about confidence. If you can convince professor that you have the skills that he or she wants, you'll get the job. It doesn't matter if you have worked or if you know. And there is not a right time to learn anything. Okay, if you think that by end of second semester I'll learn Python and SQL, and the third semester like for job, it doesn't matter. So you will get some job opportunities, some job calls where they'll ask PL SQL or something which you haven't even learned in life, but the day before resume, you'll open YouTube, will ask 100 people that can you teach me, and you will learn that tool in a day, right? So whenever you work as a TA, it doesn't matter if you know that skill. It only matters is how much interested you are in working as a TA. You can learn through the path, like through the time. Okay, eventually you can learn the skills. So you don't have to wait for the right time, like when you'll be completed with the Udemy course or Coursera course, right? So this is the right time. People say like, what is the right time I should approach someone? So just remember, someone has already approached them. Okay, so if you approach tomorrow, you will be late. So don't take even a second to think that, okay, when should I approach? Like directly email them. Now, this is one of the technique that helped me in getting a job as a TA throughout my master's. Okay. So firstly, make list of all the professors. So name, department, course, and email ID who are working at Northeastern, right? So that can be done using two ways. First is, if you go, the advantage we have Microsoft Teams over here is when you move your cursor on anybody's profile, this icon has been disabled because of me, I think, because I've used a lot this icon and try to track all the professors and used to send cold emails. That's what I assume. But before that, I used to get a tree of all the professors. tree as in hierarchical structure, like who is the director and who are the professors who are working with them, who are the assistants with them and all. So as of now, you only be able to see who they report to for all the professor. So this is a recommended, like this is the way I would recommend you. Go to Anu Banner, make a list of all the courses that are going to be in the next semester, let's say for summer. Okay. Don't think if it's of data, if it's not data, if it's of biotech, not biotech, just write all the courses. Don't eliminate anything right now. Course name, professor, and course code ID. Once you are done with that, you have to email each of the professor that you are interested in this course, and you have to write why you are interested. So you again, going back to this template, I have written the 5 points. So write custom 5 points for that course. For example, if I talk about computation visualization, I would write, I have spent this many hours or this many dashboards. I'll attach my Tableau public profile link over there. And before sending, I'll ensure I'll make 4-5 projects and then I'll show to that professor. Similarly, you can write custom emails for all the courses and send it to them. Once you send them, you have to wait for 5 business days. Don't follow up. 5 business days or 10 business days. Wait for them. Okay. There are some professors in Northeastern who will never read your email throughout their life. Okay. But there are some people who are very prompt, who will reply, who they finish their inbox every day. So they are not professional, they are professors. Okay. So they come from academic background. So you can't expect them to reply or reach out to you as soon as possible. So don't follow up like an Indian. Give them 5 business days. Take them time to breathe, and they will definitely reach out to you. Remember, you need one opportunity. You don't need more than one, right? But to get that one, you have to reach out to all the professors. Now, what if they don't reply to you, right? So I think one of the question which Unnati asked, so it's like every person in this world has someone who they report to, right? So let's just remember, like when you were small and your elder brother or elder sister take away your toy and doesn't return you back, you always had someone in the house whom you can report to. It could be your father or mother, and you get your toy back, right? So similarly, when a professor doesn't reply or is biased towards someone, right? So biasness doesn't work and shouldn't not work. If you are more capable, if you have those skills, you should get the job. So you should always approach to their manager telling that now you should not complain. Okay, no one likes if you complain, and who are you to complain, right? So you should politely tell them that I had applied, I'm interested in this position. I reached out to this professor, but haven't received any emails. So I'm not sure if he is the right person or she is the right person. So maybe if you can guide me. So what that manager will do is again reply back to you and keep that professor in CC. Now, because that manager has replied, that professor is now answerable to you, right? And unless that professor will reply back to you, that manager, he's answerable to the manager, right? That why didn't you reply? So these professors and directors have a weekly meeting and monthly review meeting. So they do have a discussion like, hey, did you reply to that student? Right? So this is one of the way. So Northeastern recently, there is a policy that if you want to become a TA for a course, you should have taken it. But that's a policy only for College of Engineering. Northeastern is very huge. Okay, there are more than 12,000 students in Northeastern, more than 500 faculties in Northeastern. So you just need one opportunity again. So reach out to business schools, reach out to undergrad, reach out to masters. Masters also, there's a Corey School, College of Engineering, College of Professional Studies, a lot of faculties. Okay, so reach out to all of them. You definitely get a TA job. Now talking about non-TA jobs. I would personally prefer TA jobs always because I don't have to travel. It's easy. Job is always from laptop. And it's something that is technical. You can always show off about in the job opportunity, like whatever interviews you have. But still, money is the king. So if nothing works out, if you don't feel you have the right background, if you don't have work experience, you don't have even good grades, right? So even knowing these things doesn't make sense in investing time and energy in convincing faculty for TA, right? So we should try the other kind of jobs, which could be RSO, ITS, and all those stuff, and restaurants. So for that, don't put resume which is technical resume. Okay, you have to fake it till you make it. So you have to write stuff about like you were a part of some cricket association in undergrad, or a part of event management, and this is what you did, and those kind of stuff relate to it. So try to add some skills which shows you are people friendly and you can manage things, you solve problems, all those stuff, and then it will be picked up. So I've seen people applying for RSO and applying for Marino, and they write they're software developer, application developer, BI developer. It doesn't matter, right? So you won't get called. And another thing, so even if the job doesn't post up in the job portal, a new job portal, there are supervisors. Okay, so first rule, stop approaching your roommates, your friends, or the people who you think will help you, but they will never help you. So always ask them who is the supervisor. You only need name. Go to Outlook, go to Teams, you'll get their email ID and directly email to that supervisor. If that person doesn't reply to you, go and reach out and meet to them in person. Okay, you should only ask, always ask. Okay, no one is going to help you. So ask where that person sits or where is that person works, right? So reach out to them and you have to make an impression. Okay, wear some good clothes, tell them that I'm interested in this job, and meet them every few weeks, after every few weeks, right? So because in Northeastern, the job opportunities are limited and the vacancies are increasing exponentially. So there is always a person right besides them who is ready to start the job. And another importance is, even if you have a lot of money with you right now, but SSN is something which is very difficult to get unless you have opportunity. And I've seen a lot of my friends who have lost internships because they didn't had SSN at that time, right? So whenever there is a vacancy in any organization, they want someone who wants to join them really quickly. And if you don't have SSN takes 30 to 45 days, right? So try to get an on-campus, even if you say like, I want money, I don't want money, doesn't matter, but do get an SSN. And yeah, another bonus point. So how to get email ID of anyone, right? So here is a tool called Email Finder Get Prospects of Google Chrome. And this is the icon that you will get, show email. So when you click on this, on the right hand side, what this tool does is that tries to search that person's name and the profile across the Google browser and try to fetch that email ID. So if this person has mentioned his email ID somewhere across the World Wide Web, they will show the email ID. And most of the time it's correct. And I have been using this tool from like, since I've been started looking for full time, and it works most of the time, right? Yeah, so with that, we end this session. And we can like discuss whatever queries you guys have.
I think I understood what Avinash was trying to say. So basically, even I have that, like I'm into data analytics profile right now. Previously, I worked in SAP, right? Or someone
Okay.
else must have worked in as a front-end developer or something. So is it a good idea to mention about that job profile in your resume that you have done in the past, which is not at all relevant to the course that you're doing right now?
Mhm. So, as I said, okay, let me stop recording.